Okay, so a few hours ago, the Fourth Circuit officially denied Trump's appeal for the Garcia case. This was the decision originally made by Paul Zinis. Leave it to a woman. Am I right? Am I right? It seems like women are the only one with some balls around this place standing up to any of this real bullshit on a major fucking scale. Boasberg is doing pretty good too. But Trump's admin's request for appeal has been officially denied. And I'm going to read some of the court statements to you guys on what they ruled and what that means. I'm just going to read it from my computer screen because it's easier for me, but I will put it here on the screen for you guys if you want to read along. This is ABREGO GARCIA case. And then on here listed as well as Christine Ohm, surprise, surprise, Pamela Bondi, a surprise, surprise, Mark Rubio. Okay, Wilkinson, the circuit judge, and all the other circuit judges. Upon review of the government's motion, the court denies the motion for an emergency stay pending appeal. The relief the government is requesting is both extraordinary and premature. While we fully respect the executive's robust assertion of its Article 2 powers, we shall not micromanage the efforts of a fine district judge attempting to implement the Supreme Court's recent decision. Like, stop trying to fucking kill checks and balances. How about that? Because they are trying really fucking hard to get rid of that. I need you guys to hear this next part because it's really, really fucking important. It is difficult in some cases to get to the very heart of the matter, but in this case, it is not hard at all. The government is asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process that is the very foundation of our constitutional order. Further, it claims in essence that because it has rid itself of custody, that there is nothing that can be done. I've seen a lot of fucking throwing him under the bus and a lot of Fox News, Pam Bondi, fucking Caroline Levitt throwing this man under the bus, claiming every chance they can get that this man was an illegal alien and he is part of a gang. Although Garcia did come into this country illegally, he had a special protective status. It was specifically called a withholding of removal status. So it's not a common thing, but it is a legal thing that he had. And he actually was definitely not, if he was going to be deported. They could have deported him anywhere else. But he specifically was not to be deported back to El Salvador because he was specifically under protection from gang activity there. So yeah, it's kind of fucked up that they sent him back to the place he was trying to get away from and put him in the same lockup as the gangs that he was trying to escape. See how that's a problem there? And he actually did have legal status to be here. Even though he was not a legal citizen, he had protective status to be here legally. Also them just saying, well, there's nothing we can do. And then having the El Salvadorian president come here and be like, well, I can't smuggle him in. We're like, we're not asking you to smuggle him in. Just let him go. He shouldn't be locked up in this prison. That's the whole fucking point. And at this fucking point, we need fucking proof of life. Because this is a prison, a terrorist cell prison with very terrible gang members and a prison that has multiple human rights violations. We need to see proof of life, okay? Especially after the senator just went out to El Salvador and he just wanted to see him, right? Because no one else is doing a damn fucking thing. And they've been letting all the press in before that, like showing off all the cool cruelty they're doing, right? But they refused to even let the senator lay eyes on this man. Tell me that's not suspect as hell. Who knows if he's even still with us? You know what I mean? Like, I need to see proof of life at this point. It's getting real fucking shady. So they're basically saying we're overhearing, there's nothing that can be done. This should be shocking not only to judges, but to the intuitive sense of liberty that Americans far removed from courthouses still hold dear. And yeah, it should be. It should be making people feel that. It should be. And I have actually seen whole town hall meetings recently of constituents yelling at their senators, people that voted Trump yelling at their senators.
Are you going to bring that guy back from El Salvador? Yeah. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
Supreme Court said to bring him back.
Yeah, but
What can they do?
He's defined the Constitution.
Trump don't care.
If I get an order to pay a ticket for $1,200 and I just say no, does that stand up? Because he's got an order from the Supreme Court and he's just said no.
Yeah. I'm pissed.
Asking, what the hell are you doing about Garcia? And everyone is thinking about it. And you should be thinking about it. And if you're not fucking thinking about it, you need to check yourself. This shit is crazy. It is terrifying that you can just be la 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 on your way and then you get sent to a terrorist cell prison. And then them say, nothing can be done. You're there for forever now. Like, what? Like, that doesn't even sound right. Even people like Joe Rogan are coming out and saying, like, this is not right. Like, this is not okay. Like, what the fuck is going on? And it isn't right. And you should be having those questions. And you should be asking your senators what the hell is being done. The government asserts that Abrego Garcia is a terrorist and a member of MS-13, which, by the way, there is no evidence for. Pam Bondi, Caroline Leavitt, the whole Trump admin takes every opportunity to fill every newsroom. Fucking Fox News is all over it. Everyone's talking about it, that he's definitely MS-13, he's definitely a gang member. But you know where they're not saying that? They're totally plowing forward with a whole smear campaign everywhere they possibly can because they don't want to look like fucking assholes. But you know where they're not saying it? In court. In court or in front of any sort of judge because they are lying and they don't want it to be their ass. Anyway, regardless, he is still entitled to due process. Did you hear that? They said perhaps he is a gang member, perhaps not. Perhaps that's why he was fleeing. Perhaps that's why he had protective custody. Ever think about that? Maybe he was part of that and decided, no, this is not the life I wanted to get out, and that's why he was here and got protective custody. Regardless, he is still entitled to due process. If the government is confident of his position, it should be assured that position will prevail in proceedings to terminate the withholding of removal order. But they don't want to do that. They just want to dictate everything. Moreover, the government has conceded that Abrego Garcia was wrongfully or mistakenly deported. Then why should it not make that wrong right? Right. Any other normal thing would be like, oh, you know what? That was a mistake. Let's bring him back. They said it was a clerical error. Imagine being thrown away in a terrorist cell prison due to a clerical error. Like, what the fuck? The Supreme Court's decision remains, as always, our guidepost. And then it says things like, you know, they're giving them some allowances. They understand it can be tough, whatever. That it would allow sensitive diplomatic negotiations to be removed from public view. It would recognize as well that the facilitation of Abrego Garcia's return leaves the executive branch with options in the execution of basically how they do it and how it happens and how it goes down. The Supreme Court's decision does not, however, allow the government to essentially do nothing. It requires the government to facilitate, as they said, Abrego Garcia's release from the custody of El Salvador and to ensure that his case is handled as it should have been, right? And then they made this really important. Facilitate is an active verb. Active verb. So they're basically saying, do something. Fucking do something. Take accountability and do something. Fuck.